Okay. If anyone has had a moment to review the minutes from last meeting. And if you've had a moment to review, a motion to approve them.
Not everybody wants.
I'll move to approve them.
Thank you, Paul. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Okay, do we have any emails or anything
No.
like that?
Skipping your introduction.
Oh, yeah. duh. And I have a whole like thing. No, I don't really. Okay, so we have 2 new members. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited. If everyone could go around the table to please introduce yourself, the number of years you've been on the commission, and your favorite climate solution. Yes, I am that nerd.
You have a climate solution?
Yes, or your favorite. I assume you have a climate solution if it's your favorite. Everyone's got a favorite.
Wow.
Todd, I'll save you for last, so you can.
You save me for last?
Wait, do you need to think of one? All right, Todd, we're starting with you.
I'm Todd Ray. I'm the Director of Public Works. I am the staff liaison to the Sustainability Commission. I've been with Webster Groves for 8 years, and I think I've been the staff liaison for maybe 2.
2-ish, yeah, maybe a smidge more.
So
Cool. You have a favorite climate solution, Todd?
probably solar panels, since we have them on the service center. I
Yeah,
can't get them on City Hall. I'm working on the rec center.
I know.
$2 million though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Cool to know. Well, we can bring down those energy costs, which is our biggest budget item.
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd. Vera.
My name is Vera Cabato. I am the Assistant Director of Public Works here at the City of Webster, and I think it's like week 6 or 7 for me. I just started in February. And I don't know what my favorite climate solution is, so I'm gonna go with solar.
Okay.
My brother has solar panels on his, and so do my parents.
I know.
I'm a visitor, so I'm gonna sit back there.
No, you're fine. Oh, no, just stay. You switch.
We'll scooch. We'll speak.
At the Carl.
Do it up. I just have a lot of jazz.
How are you?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, he doesn't have wheels on his.
It looks like
Yeah.
Okay, Carla just joined us. Thank you. Do you want to go next, my friend?
Sure. Yeah. Hello, I'm Amna Anwar. I've been on the commission, I think, for 2 years. And my favorite climate solution is plant forward eating.
Nice. Thank you. Amna. Okay, Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea Parton. My first day. I've lived in Webster though for almost 10 years, and I taught in Parkway before that for almost 10 years. Hi, I don't know if you can see me. And then I would have to say my favorite climate solution still is solar. I'll jump on that bandwagon. We're trying to get those on our house and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff Tomich. I've been on the commission for, I'm losing track, 5 or 6 years. I don't know, maybe 5. And I am vice chair. And my favorite climate solution is, I would say, walking, biking, running. I think it gets us out and has the added benefit of being good for our health.
Love that.
Jeff, you've been on since November of 2017.
Okay, close.
Nice.
Wow.
Good stuff. Thanks, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Pam Bliss, and I'm council member and council liaison to Sustainability Commission. And my favorite climate solution is plant-based eating and reducing as much food waste in my home as possible.
Wow, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Pam.
Have you seen that little thing that they sell that you can?
The compost.
Yeah.
Loamy.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, that.
Oh, no, I don't have that. I have a very
rates are just.
fiance
You
who
gotta
eats
chop
anything.
Oh. You have no leftovers.
That's amazing.
What you do? Like,
Her fiance has a garbage disposal.
yeah. But we do have this thing called Musco. I don't know if you guys do that, but like Musco salads or Musco soups, it's just whatever's in your refrigerator, you
Oh,
just
that's
finish it.
Huh.
So
Oh,
Musco salads are among the best.
Not bad,
I
yeah.
love that.
Thanks, Pam. Carla.
So I'm Carla Armbruster and I've been on the Sustainability Commission for some number of,
You and Donna came on around the same time.
yeah, so
May-
what did she say?
May of 22,
Okay, so really, it's only been
only a little over a year, or almost a year. It's feel longer, doesn't it?
Done five. Yeah, so, yes, and so when we say favorite climate solution, does that mean like favorite to practice in my personal life or favorite in terms of the difference, I think?
That is wide open for your interpretation.
Okay, well, since nobody has said this that I know of, my favorite is divesting from fossil fuel companies.
Mhm.
Because that
Yeah,
has to happen.
yes, it does. Come on, thanks, Carla. John.
My name is John Hickey. This is my first meeting. I'm actually going from this meeting to a meeting about divesting from fossil fuel.
Did I steal your solution?
No, you didn't. You didn't, because my favorite climate solution is the black plastic bins for composting that I picked up at the Webster Groves Rec Center and use religiously. And so we don't put any.
Did you get it from the last one or the one previous? We
The
just did one last year.
one previous.
So 20, I think that was 2018.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nifty little items, easy to work, family of four, it like breaks down quick enough that I never have to shovel it out.
And it's in your Webster Groves backyard
In my backyard.
and there's no like rat problem or
No,
something.
never had a problem. No.
Okay, that's what I need.
No, because it just composts really quick. and
I
it's
don't
gonna
think
drop.
so,
So the rats couldn't get in unless it came in from underground.
okay.
But you had that grid, the plastic grid to keep.
On the top, I didn't put it on the bottom just
Yeah, I didn't
because
find that either.
I didn't think it was necessary.
Right,
And our rats really about.
not in Webster Groves.
Maybe in New York.
I wouldn't.
Kirkwood, maybe. I used to work at Kirkwood, so.
All the shit. All the shit. Well, welcome aboard, John. We're thrilled that you're here. I'm Jamie Hassmeyer. I have been on the commission since 2018. And my favorite climate solution is community organizing. Oh,
Well, Lars, I've been on the commission a couple of years, since May 21, I think. Cycling, walking, running, and I also compost as well. I like the big black bins.
Yeah.
I do use the grid on the bottom because otherwise I think chipmunks will get into mine.
Yeah.
I love my
Possums.
chipmunks.
We have a possum that pretty much owns our compost.
it's the king of the compost. Awesome. All right.
What's your visitor?
Oh, Anne.
I'm not supposed to be here. I'm Ann Barenkamp. I just got back in town yesterday from California and it was kind of inspiring for composting. I need to do that. I need your fiance or bins. My toddler leaves everything and I don't want to eat everything she leaves.
No, you don't.
No. That's my favorite.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Anne. You could have totally bailed, but.
But now you can't because you're.
Now you can't.
You can't get out. You can't get out. All set, yeah.
Climb over the table. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. We're really excited to have our new folks on board and we're gonna get some fun things done this year. Any notes, Todd, to share for
Nope.
visitor?
Nothing.
Not, obviously not visitor, but emails, random emails,
Nothing.
not random.
Sometimes I get random ones. Not this month.
I am not operating in my full force today, just a heads up. Okay. Our old business, we're gonna try to fly through these. We did some Hickson outreach and Carla and Amna were so gracious in sharing their time with the sustainability class at Hickson Middle School. And Carla, or Amna, do you want to take the beginning and chat about that for a second?
Sure.
Two different versions
Yes.
of it, so.
Sure. Middle schoolers are like an interesting audience to talk to. And there were some who were very engaged and asked really excellent questions. some of the feedback that we got from Mr. Hayes, he would really like to see more ways to get involved in volunteer opportunities. So it sounds like he would like to offer opportunities to his students. And he also asked if we had a newsletter, and I said we do not, but we do have updates in like the Friday, emails, and then just generally on the website. So that kind of made me think it might be nice to have some way to get information out that's maybe our own channel, or maybe having a page or something where we can update folks on what we're working on and ways that they can get involved. Yeah, that's really all I have.
Great, thanks, Alma, for spending time with them. Carla, any
So
takeaways?
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what Anna said. I honestly think maybe just having something for kids, like a general, I don't know, level of programming for kids. Obviously, some of the stuff we already do is open to kids, but maybe presenting it separately, like, here's all the stuff that we can find for kids would be a cool thing to do, because they're the, kids can have a big influence on their parents, right? So, and Mr. Hayes is doing just some really great stuff over there. I mean, they're doing all kinds of, gardening seemed to be the main focus, right? But he said a lot of the kids, haven't done it before. Just the idea of like where food comes from, it's very experiential. And Anna's point about the middle school audience, like they are not good at sitting still. And so I think a class like that where they're actually doing stuff is perfect for them. I had a blast. I love kids of that age. They're still so open. Like even I said something about like, well, how do you think Webster Groves ranks in terms of sustainability? And like, it's like 100%, like they want to be proud of Webster Groves, they want to be excited about it. They're not too cynical yet, even though maybe they are starting to get there. And I thought we had a really fun conversation. And they're open. They're open to ideas, they're open to information, they're open to, how to do things differently.
Good stuff.
Did you want to say
Thanks,
something,
Carla.
Joe?
I just could say that the one opportunity, which might be under a different committee than this committee, but Yvonne Steingruber at Parks is doing great stuff in terms of invasive species removal. Doesn't take sophisticated knowledge. Young people's backs are better than our backs. Moving things out of the ground.
Yeah.
And if you look at Deer Creek, and if you look at Shady Creek, there's a lot of opportunity there for pulling honeysuckle and winter creeper. Especially, that's kind of like a March, April thing. It's not a 12 months a year thing, but it is, kids are in school in March and April. So maybe looking ahead to next year, that would be an opportunity, because there is, you could give Yvonne another 30 kids and she would not have any trouble putting them to work.
You're gonna piggyback on Dave Buck's thing about the sustainables.
Oh, yeah, Dave he has a fountain of ideas. Yeah, he has a really fun idea for like a kids club called the Sustainables. I'm really curious to build a stronger bridge between City Hall and the school district.
Yeah.
There are a lot of on-ramps that we can do with sustainability that get kids out, get them involved, plant that seed, if you will allow the metaphor, and figure out a way to help, nurture that throughout various activities. So I'm not exactly sure that any of us here on the commission have bandwidth. And I said that to Dave, for organizing a kids club. That said, this is a conversation that we need to be having with the school district to see how we can better partner.
That's a great point.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that's their wheelhouse, right? So how can we like work together on involving kids more?
And I should add that Jamie was also at the session. I think Anna went on her own.
Yeah, she did.
But Jamie and I came together, and Jamie had some, was really the point person for actually letting them know what we're doing, and how they can get involved.
Yeah.
And we kind of decided that the pumpkin match could be a
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
Yeah.
good
I would
thing.
love that.
It's
Yeah.
Well, it's not pumpkin smash, it's pumpkin comp, what is it?
Well,
There's a
we call
lot-
it-
they could, like,
There's
smashing involved.
there's smashing.
Yeah.
It's put my axe away.
Can't be. Parent discretion advised. But yeah, lots of fun opportunities, there. And again, fertile ground, pardon the constant plant metaphors. Okay, awesome. Thank you both, again, Carla and Amna.
I'll do it anytime.
Awesome.
I love it.
Thank you,
Can I
friend.
ask one other question?
Yeah.
Do any of the Webster schools participate in the Green Schools competition
don't.
at US Green Building Council?
Not that I'm aware of. Holy Redeemers in it.
Okay.
And I just had a meeting with them this morning.
Oh, with USGBC?
Yeah. Yeah,
Geez,
I know.
kind of just add
It's,
water.
I mean, it is the easiest on ramp. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can,
What's it called?
sorry, so USGBC is US, Council, Green Building, right?
Mhm.
US Green Building
Thank
Council,
you.
USGBC.
And they do a really fun, school outreach thing, that is now umbrella being called Show Me Green Schools, I think, and it's
Oh.
MEA, MEEA. And it is also, USGBC, and they do a Green Schools Quest, which is super fun. It's a contest and there's levels that you can work toward, and it's just friendly competition, really though helping schools understand how they can build green teams and that sort of thing. So, Andrea, I know that, did I talk to you about schools? But no.
Not yet.
No, Elizabeth told me that you were once
Yeah.
a school teacher.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe this is something that we
Yeah.
can explore.
That'd be fun. I mean, when you were saying it is schools, but PTO, I mean, that could be,
Yeah.
that's how I found out about Shady Creek was my neighbor and her kids. So then I took my kids.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, so it's like getting your families
Yeah.
together, but yeah, it's hard. It's, you don't know about it unless it's being shared out there
Right.
and.
Right. So, yeah, well, I'd say, we're not gonna get into that this meeting, but let's
Mhm.
definitely, I'll put on our agenda. On the horizon for the, how to build stronger bridges between the school districts.
Yeah.
Especially once, well, we have new school board members coming up here soon and
Yeah.
see where, there's some room, there for some growth. All right, cool, thanks. Okay, Todd, I'm gonna ask you for help in remembering this next item, the SIUE, the intern.
Yes.
So is that that is put on a work session sooner than I thought?
The 4th of April.
Okay. Okay, so okay, so just to quickly, fill in any, information here, we want to partner with an intern or a student, from SIUE graduate program to help us benchmark our greenhouse gas emissions for the city, and they can do it also more widely for Webster. I can share out with you, and let me put this on my to-dos, and I can't talk and write at the same time, so 1 second. The Collinsville plan, they did this for Collinsville, the SIUE intern did this for Collinsville, and they produced a really great plan from their an assessment of where they are with their greenhouse gas emissions, and really raised awareness what the city could be doing to reduce emissions. And so we had talked to a professor to get this ball rolling. We were hoping it would start this semester. That didn't pan out timing wise. And so we are looking to talk to council about it next week.
Yep.
Okay. Great.
That and the stormwater master plan.
Okay. Super.
And this would be for having the person come on board in the fall,
Mhm.
is that right?
Okay. Fabulous.
Telling the council what the program is for, what your purpose is for it, and then what the cost is gonna be. Because then the council will have to appropriate the money,
Mhm.
but obviously they'll probably want to wait till it's closer to the program starting.
Mhm.
So they'll wait
Okay.
till next budget year to appropriate the money.
Okay. And then stormwater.
So would that just be like?
So what was it? 12 hours a week? 10 or 12, I don't
I
remember.
think.
Might be 10, yeah. 10 hours a
Um,
week. Just gonna come in and. And hopefully we'll have our sustainability coordinator on.
oh, okay, we have more information.
Is that new news?
Yes, that's.
That's very big news. Very
Okay.
big new news.
Okay. All right, so I can share with you both if you want to catch up on any of the information that I just briefly summarized right there. That is a lot. And then on the fourth work session is are the priorities on there, the commission priorities?
Just the greenhouse gas program and the stormwater master
Okay.
plan are the only two things we're gonna be talking about.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Good to know.
We do need
Yes, yeah,
priorities for other work.
yes, I
Okay.
totally understand that. I just thought that that's what was on the fourth and, okay, so now, thank you for helping me understand that more clearly.
And I
Okay.
will be there with you, so.
Thank you, pal.
And also encourage anyone else to be there, especially if you have knowledge or strong thoughts.
Yeah,
It'd be good for you to raise your voices.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Could you repeat what the date was again for that working session?
April 4th,
Okay, thank you.
that's at 6:30.
All right. Thank you. All right, are we all caught up there? All right, we're gonna move on to Webster on Wheels, and Paul is our liaison for the Webster on Wheels. And Andrea and John, I don't want to assume that you know anything that we're talking about, so please stop me, raise your hand, punch me, whatever, to ask any questions. Are you familiar with Webster on Wheels?
The bicycle thing.
Yeah, mildly. Okay, so, Paul, you wanna give a quick little bio and an update?
So it's an event that has been organized by Dave Buck with the Hub historically, every year. We got involved last year. We had Dave come and talk to us about the event, and we thought it was a good plan for cycling, walking, particularly cycling around the city. So last year, the city was good enough to kind of take over for, I think they'd had some kind of private sponsorship before and had charged admission fees. But starting last year was free. This year, it's the same intention. It's May 7th. And Todd, I think I mentioned this at the last meeting, but we're looking for the sort of the same level of support from the city as last year.
Yeah, the water judge on that, yep.
Okay, just sort of confirm that. And then in talking with Dave, I mean, last year we had a booth and like a table on the blacktop, and we'd like to do the same this year. So anyone who wants to volunteer for that, you can talk to Jamie, and we'll circulate an email for signups to just be involved. It is an opportunity.
Yes, we have that.
It's definitely an opportunity to reach kids in the city. And Dave is keen, Dave Buck, that is, wants to give us room to kind of make it as sort of advertise the sustainable side of things as much as we like. So one thing that I'd like to do is he's got 3 flyers that go out sort of sequentially reminding residents and people about the event. And in the publication, he wants to do sort of a week before the events, or the timing could change. We could potentially put something in there that had a little bit more sort of educational content on why cycling is sustainable and a good thing for the city, and talking about other things that the bike lanes came in last year. And so that's that's really the update there. I'm happy to give more details on it, but again, May 7th, and we will
What
have.
time does it start?
It's basically runs from about 1:30 to 4:30.
1:30. It was the afternoon.
And last year, Amna and I gave little brief speeches at the beginning. So if anyone wants to volunteer for that, I'll be happy to pass that torch.
Great, oh, they're great. Thank you, Paul, for being our liaison and for that little update. And it is a fun event. And so I'll put all these with Amna's notes, and I'll just run down some dates too. So everybody, as a follow-up, just so everybody has these dates. All right.
It's on this Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday the 7th.
And we can talk about if we want to do the wheel of recycling. Yeah. Again. All right, great. Thank you, Paul. Okay, the Green Space collaboration. So the Green Space Advisory Commission is a commission that we've been working with to develop an eco ed series. They've really done a really incredible job the first part of this year. And we're gonna start to populate the second half of the year with various speaker ideas. I met with them, and Carla was kind enough. She was with her mother out of town, but she called in and sat in on a meeting with us to talk about what we can be doing together. We brainstormed on some sustainability speakers. And I didn't know if anybody had a minute to think about that or think through that, or wanted to offer some ideas, you know, and again, I'm not as prepared as I wanted to be for today, but I can summarize those in an email as well. But things that I think are important, and one of our big ones is going to be solar, and I'm going to circle back to that in new business. So that's one effort that I want to do. Also, sorry, I should say these are monthly little eco ed talks. We did decide to skip July since everybody in Webster seems to completely unplug that month. We also don't have a meeting in July to honor that. But I do make you walk in the parade sometimes. So that's also not me, just me. I don't make you, that's voluntary, but that's also something that we can consider and talk about. And Green Space has asked if we would want to partner with them again on walking in the parade. But more importantly is coming together with some sustainability efforts and ideas. The mosquito idea and fogging came up, and a lot of people are trying to get rid of fogging. And I think that would be a great effort for us to consider. Prior to the pandemic in 2019, in the summer at Maypop, we had Jean Ponte come out and talk about mosquitoes and vector control for the county. It was a great presentation. And Maypop was so generous, and they gave like, I don't have words today. What's the plants?
Citronella.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They gave out citronella plants. And so I did reach out to Jean. She's sick of talking about recycling, but she does have a program that she just recently developed for talking about plastic waste. And so she would be happy to talk about that, or pests. So if, you know, that's something that we can look into. Any other ideas? Oh, go ahead.
I'm thinking if we did a solar panel. Get that solar panel. Okay.
I appreciate
If we had not only somebody from the industry, and I'm thinking someone like Eric Schneiderman from Straight Up Solar, because they're but then also have like 3 Webster residents who have solar who could say, this is what happened. This is like how it's working out for me. Because I think that would have more credibility in some ways than an industry person. An industry person's going to know more details.
Yeah. So sorry, really quick, Carla. On the solar front, I'm gonna get to, because it's kind of an exciting development. We are gonna have a whole solar thing. And so yes, I love that idea. So we're gonna, if you don't mind, we're gonna press pause on that and come back to that. Yeah. All right. Carla.
Well, I just want to, on the solar.
Yeah.
thing, so I wonder how many people in Webster run into obstacles though, because of all the trees, right? We have so many big shady trees, like we tried to get solar panels and they couldn't fit enough on the roof. And they're like, oh, were you thinking about cutting down that 100-year-old, you know, Norway spruce? I'm like, no, you know, so I don't know if there's some way to address some of the unique challenges. And we can't put out like a field of solar panels, right? We don't have that kind of room, right? So what are some of the unique challenges that people have? And maybe are there ways around them? Because
what if we sponsor a panel on the rec center?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it might be good for people to know about that too. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if we're the only ones who like just couldn't make it work.
We couldn't either. Yeah.
No, I
agree.
know.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same. So I know one thing people can do is the community solar.
Right.
Yeah.
Overpriced, but at least it's.
Yeah.
It's something. Yeah. That's important though, to help, like, you're not out of luck.
Right.
If there is some other way that you can contribute. So that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Has Webster ever done an urban tree canopy survey?
Collinsville just did that.
Because it could play a role in several different things, like when you have more of both directions. You could use it to identify, oh, here's the neighborhoods where solar is going to be more likely to be successful because there's less shade. A, but B, you could also, you look at it the other way and say, okay, we need to focus our tree planting in these communities because when you have more of a tree canopy, you have better human health outcomes because you have less soot in the air and lower
They did have,
temperatures, et
they
cetera.
did have Davy Tree do a tree inventory.
But those are street trees on.
Was it? Okay. About 4 years ago.
Because I bet if you did one in Webster, you would see
Just
that there's not, that you'd see disparities and that could
Yes.
drive, like I said, both those things, both either planting or not planting, but identifying solar opportunities.
So I had two thoughts about speakers, and I don't know, like, I should be paying better attention, so. The Green Space Council may have already covered this, but did they do something on pollinators? Because Nicole Miller-Trutman, who teaches at Webster, does all of that bee pollinator research, and she has I forget what it's called, but students are out there surveying pollinators in people's yards, and I mean, I could ask her if she would give a talk.
So the last two speaker events at the library have been focused on native plantings and pollinators and transforming your yard and the no mow month. Here, would you be my helper?
So it may be that.
Urbana.
And you can register and get a sign to put in your yard. And I did speak to someone, thank you, Vera, so much. I did speak to somebody in Northbrook who did this. Northbrook, Illinois is a northern suburb of Chicago. I was like, what didn't work, what worked, and so she was like, I told her how we had run our program, and she said getting out in front was really smart. We didn't do enough. They did only a little bit. We felt like we front loaded 2 months of. She suggested two things, and I have to reach out to Carrie about this, but one of the things is to I did do a quick little the benefits of for people to, if they get phone calls here, like, oh, well, thank you for your call. The benefits are here. And there's this.
Do you like eating food?
Yeah. Yeah. I do know.
Yeah.
I do know. And so she also said the word slow mo instead of no mo, so that if people wanted to cut their grass, that maybe they did it every other week instead of once a week. So I was like, okay, this is important language for us to adopt. But anyway, this will be an interesting a pilot program.
Does it cost to do it?
No,
No, in fact,
you're saving money.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get 5 guests for your
Yeah.
more.
Right.
So
Living there.
yeah, so
And
it's really
You're saving your energy for something else.
Yeah, there is on the city's website, they do have a page up, that QR code is to help folks who might be walking by, if you so choose to put this in your yard, for folks to scan it, and that brings them to that page.
She had to order more time.
She's gonna have to order more.
She ordered 150 and they've already been taken.
Yeah, you can register and take a sign today, because they're at the bottom of the steps.
Is that
up in the
okay
parking lot.
if we're running low? Cause
Yeah.
I want one.
I do want one. I saw one in our neighborhood today.
But register before you take one.
Down,
You can take one today and go
go
on
out to the parking lot, down the steps, they're down there on this,
Okay.
to the left of the stairs.
Back to my speakers. So
Yeah.
let me just say that I could ask if we are interested in something that's maybe more scientific or more about pollinators in general or whatever. I mean, if there's some way this could be helpful, I could ask Nicole if she would be willing to do a talk, because she is a scientist who's got students working on this and doing her own research, and I think she might live in Webster.
Okay.
So I think she would probably be glad to do that.
Yeah, there's also, I'm curious too, because of Leave the Leaves and because of where we are at this part, we get the second half of the year. If that might be something that we can explore too, so.
I'll try to sit down and have a conversation with her at some point. My other thought, and I had brought this up before, and I'm not sure how this would work as a lecture, is, David Wilson has taken students on these wonderful walks where he kind of just points out the water flow and what keeps the water from kind of trickling down into the ground and what speeds it up and what slows it down. And it's kind of transformational in your way you just look at the world, and it really helps you understand watersheds and water flow and really go with the stormwater management. And are we paying people for these?
For
The
what?
talks?
Oh,
The lectures?
An honorarium, or I don't even know. I need to ask Carrie, but probably.
Yeah, so I mean, I hate to ask people to do stuff for free.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I could ask him, I don't know if we would want to try to get people to actually go on a walk, or if maybe he could do some kind of slide presentation that it's not as good.
That is interesting, and I'm curious to explore. So I'm trying to look up the green space, because they have somebody coming in, their next meeting is in Larson Park, I think, to talk about watersheds.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember.
They took all my ideas.
You got great, you're on the same page. You're
Can you
great.
get it? Can you get it? Or you want me to
I
pull it up?
think, yeah, I think I have it. It's.
The $1,000 that you have in your budget is for honorarium or advertising or
Okay,
anything, so.
Use some of it.
it doesn't have on their landing page.
But that was what, $70 or something?
Went to the what?
We went to the green business challenge.
Right,
Just check.
but the idea is to not ask people for free.
Great work.
Right,
Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
because then we'll get more interest later.
Yeah,
right.
Better investment on your part.
well, I can't find their list of events that are upcoming, but I can put that on my to-dos to send y'all.
Okay.
All right.
But those are just two people I know that,
Yeah.
potentially could contribute if, if that's, will seem like good topics.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Carla. Another idea that someone had was like Ameren, having somebody from Ameren come out again. And I don't know, like, if we tie that in with solar, that seems to be a lot of vehicles. Yeah,
Yeah.
EVs. Mhm.
This is their EV guy. He's really good. And he
We
could
had
wrap-
two people come. Was he one of them?
For us,
Yeah.
but for like a speaker.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
asking, is this
Yeah, I don't
guy that
think-
John mentioned? one of
I
the
don't think
people
he was one of the two that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
That was Marco something and.
Oh, yeah. What's his name, John?
Pat Justice, Justis.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
He might be like now, maybe he's got a whole big division, because when I met, he was like the electric vehicle guy back in the day, but I imagine they've
Yeah, they've
got
got a big group now.
Yeah.
Are you looking for different topics for monthly? Or do you already have that?
No, I mean, it's wide open.
Well, I know that-
Solar is gonna happen in
Yeah.
June.
Just so it doesn't have to be focused around solar?
No.
Well, my friend does like her whole yard, front and back is edible, so it's all foodscape.
Mhm.
Wow.
And she's in Chibnall, Becca Chibnall. She's in Webster Acres. And it's like there, and there's a QR code and it says like you can find out more about it. But that could be cool
Yeah.
too for families and kids to go.
Right.
I mean, everything in her front yard is edible.
Wow.
It's really
That is
cool.
really
So do people pick stuff and eat all the
She
time?
says it's fine. She would you should see.
You can't eat all the food.
And she'll turn them into loofahs and she'll teach, and so,
Wow.
I mean, she's a dermatologist, but
Wow.
she would be helpful.
Well, what's so, would this in any way pair up with those apple trees? Like they've got all those apple trees in Old Orchard and they're marked. Each one has the name of the kind of apple tree is on there and there's nothing that says don't pick the apples and eat them. So I've always wondered, is that supposed to be like an edible forest?
So
That's
they
what I
developed that
church,
because there's only, like, vegetables are great, but also, what about?
Oh, that's
what
not
we
the
can do
city.
with- No, it's not the city, that's the church.
Oh.
So the gentleman who started that, he and his wife, he just wanted to like offer, their food
Mhm.
pantry, fresh fruit. And so he started this. So he's got a ton of varieties. It's really cute. Like he does a really great job. He's super shy. We had my daughter's Girl Scout troop going for a little tour and it was fantastic. But that's something that I think it was curious too, because so many people drive past it and they don't even give it a glance. So to bring some awareness to that. Kind of fun. Mhm.
One other thing on this EV thing I saw yesterday is the Inflation Reduction Act has $1,000 rebate for residential installation of electric vehicle chargers. So since none of us have electric vehicle chargers, because we don't have electric vehicles, but you need them.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure how much more than $1,000 it costs, but I would think that would cover our substantial.
God knows, don't you?
For home.
Well, yeah, not-
It's home.
The ones at City Hall were 10,000 apiece. Yeah, homes are
I think it was
probably,
2,500.
yeah, I was saying 25 to 3,000.
That's great. I think we need to do a whole EV thing.
Yeah.
I don't know when the Mustangs are coming,
3
but
weeks.
are you serious?
That's what the police chief said.
Are we gonna have like a,
Chargers are not gonna be in yet. Yeah,
okay,
They'll have the slow chargers will be in, but the fast chargers will not be in.
okay,
So I told the chief, I said, you won't be able to run them 24/7. You'll have to sit them and let them charge.
Oh, that's gonna get the letter. I'm waiting for the letter. of the-
Oh, you know it'll be in there. And it'll be my fault.
that'd be sorry.
My fault.
No, it'll be my fault.
Both of you.
Because I'm in charge of it. I've
Okay,
already been told it's my fault.
then we're gonna do solar and then we're gonna do EVs. Yeah, okay. And then we'll figure out how to populate the rest of this. Some of our work too, Andrea and John, is done in between meetings. It's not a lot of work. We're not voting or anything like super important, but a lot of communication.
Sure.
And when does that start? When are we putting it up? August?
Well, June, because we're gonna do the solar thing for June.
You're doing June.
Yeah.
Would there be interest in somebody speaking about people's retirement accounts and how to avoid supporting the fossil fuel industry through your retirement investments?
Wow.
I would be interested.
That's a great idea.
Who do you think would be the best person for that?
I have no
I don't
idea.
even know.
Let's
I mean,
explore.
you know.
There's the,
Yes.
there's the guy who did
What's his name?
the divestment at Mercy Hospital System. And he's kicking around town and that's his like day job is figuring out how to divest from fossil fuels. Now, he's more of an institutional level player, but I think a lot
But
of
he might be a
principles are
good
gonna be
place to
this.
start. Do you happen to remember his name?
I got him my laptop. I can get it to you, but I don't know right off the top of my head.
Okay, awesome. We have some good ideas to go with and we'll figure out how to populate the rest of these months of the year as we proceed.
What about Mr. Hayes?
Oh, that's a fun idea.
Don't you think people would like to hear what he and the kids are doing?
Mhm.
Is Mr. Hayes and Dr. Hayes different? I'm assuming then. Dr. Hayes is at Clark Elementary, Mr. Hayes.
Mr. Hayes is at the.
Okay, okay. I was just gonna-
Mhm. Yeah, great idea. Great idea.
And maybe some of the kids would like to come with them.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
that brings
that's
more
brilliant.
kids and
Yeah.
more families.
Good stuff, I
Anytime
think.
you have kids.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Present
Good idea.
them, yeah.
All right, cool. Nice work, everybody. Yay, team. Okay, our next item on the agenda is our traffic advisory commission collaboration. And I can't remember if I asked Jeff or Paul to help me out with that one, a little
You
update.
asked me, but
Okay, thank you. Because Paul did.
I'll defer. If I
a-
get something wrong, just
Paul
stop.
did a heavy lift.
Yes,
for
he
us.
did.
Yes.
So the Sustainability Traffic Advisory Collaboration met a couple of weeks ago and with the idea of looking at sort of a complete streets policy, and we used a model ordinance, which then we talked about, I think the term was Websterizing, which I think that was Paul's contribution here that was sent around. And I think the idea for this is similar to those who were here when we did the Forever Webster Groves Sustainability Plan. Forever Webster Groves.
Forever Webster Road.
Which is start with a document that's very sort of high level, sort of vision statement oriented. And the idea is with complete streets to do that, to get something to council. I believe the idea is later in the year after the whole budget is approved, with the idea of sort of getting their approval on sort of a high level ordinance that lays out the vision. And then we can go in after that and implement specific or recommend and look at specific policies that we can then again get to council. So I believe we talked about each sustainability is going to look at the red line that Paul did. I think each commission will look at that and then we'll kind of mash them up at our next meeting. Is that right?
Yeah, Paul took the first look at it and edit. What I don't remember, I can pull up the email, Clark, what did Clark say?
Clark liked it.
Okay.
He had a specific suggestion about sort of where certain, like, I think administratively, where some decisions should be made, whether at the council or whether city management. I wasn't sure what to sort of weigh in on that specific issue, but otherwise he was fine with it, but I don't know that he was speaking for the whole commission.
Okay, okay. All right, great, thank you.
No, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, Paul, that was super impressive. Thank you so much for going through all of that. And Paul shared that, and I apologize for the lack of timeliness in sending that out earlier today. Thank goodness. Paul was like, Jamie, do you think we need to get this out? Yeah, we do. And so Todd, thanks also for sending that out today. So we sent that out. What we would like to do is vote on adopting that sustainability, endorsing that so that we can bring it back to the collaboration subcommittee in order to move to the next step, which would be further discussion and editing, right?
Yeah, and I think it was to get a draft to you guys, right, on the council.
So you can merge your ideas and, yeah.
And am I right that we want to get it done and approved as quickly as possible so that we can start applying for grant money?
I think that was definitely discussed, right? Because it's important to have something in place to sort of.
Yes.
You need some, yeah.
I am,
It's a plan to have a plan.
I am in the process of going to be applying for the grant for the action plan. And then the implementation would be the next year.
Okay.
Can I talk to you after the meeting?
Sure.
Awesome.
Could I make a point? Or no?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
On my street, they're going through and checking for lead lines, lead
Yes.
water lines.
Yes,
And so there's gonna be a lot of sidewalks torn up
yes, there are.
in the next couple of months.
Yes, there are.
Right.
So I'm not sure if anything in the plan.
Yep.
I mean, as I read the plan that Paul edited, it was based around the idea of when you tear it up, let's fix it right, not fix it like it was.
Yep.
So it seems like there's a window of opportunity over the summer where there's gonna be a lot of
Yep.
stuff ripped up. I assume, just because I'm assuming my house is lead, I'm assuming a lot of houses are gonna have lead lines. And that's a lot of sidewalks.
Are they looking in general, or are they just looking near you because you're near school?
No, they're doing the entire
The
city.
entire city, okay.
Yeah, they got one team to
Your
go.
house is older than 1950, you will be checked.
You have some little pink spray paint on your sidewalk, that's you.
And then I got white spray paint yesterday. I'm not sure. what-
White is for where they know where to bore, because they're doing a
I
bore.
was gonna say, that's.
Over top of your service line.
They're gonna bore where the pink paint is.
No, the white is the boring. The pink is probably just showing, the pink is probably just showing where your line is running.
Ours is like, well.
It's supposed to be blue though.
Our house is-
Blue is the water line.
They sometimes don't even know where stuff is.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, they would prefer to come into your house, inside your house to see what's coming in. That's easier than them having to bore it and cover your line.
So with the complete streets process though, like who's rebuilding the streets once they're done with the work? Them?
Yeah, the contractor, well, yes and no. We do it in-house and we're gonna charge because they're American. Because we normally would charge the contractor a deposit when they pull a permit. But there's gonna be so many permits, it would be hundreds of thousands of dollars of deposits. So the contractor said, got with Missouri American got with me. And said, why don't you just do the work and bill us directly?
Okay,
Because we're gonna pay the contractor for whatever work that, or whatever deposits they're putting down.
okay,
So just bill us directly. I said, okay, so we're gonna do the work, repair the streets to our standards. And then we're gonna bill Missouri American directly monthly.
okay.
So if we do 10 a month, then we're gonna bill them for 10 repairs.
And our standards based on the plans that are existing currently or that we are,
Our,
this means trying to make.
yeah, it's
Can we change those real quick?
it's just repairing the street.
Okay,
They dig a hole in the street, we gotta fix that hole.
okay,
We're
yeah,
not replacing the entire street, we're just
Okay.
fixing that hole. And
Okay.
our requirements are, if you have a 3x3 hole, we require you to put back a 5x5 hole, because you gotta do a foot on either side.
Yeah.
You dig down 10 inches, so now you have a shelf around your existing hole of virgin ground that hasn't been touched. We pour a concrete pad on top of that, so then that bridges the rock. When the rock settles, it doesn't pull the whole street down.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds like a good idea.
So it's not touching sidewalks.
Yes.
A lot of people.
Sorry, it's okay.
So do you hear Pam's question?
What's that?
Are you touching sidewalks? It's Public Works touching
No,
sidewalks.
the
related
contractor
to
responsible,
that.
the contractor responsible for sidewalks and grass,
So they will be replaced.
correct. Yeah, if they dig up a sidewalk, they have to replace it. And our standards are 2 inches of rock, 4 inches of concrete. Unless
But
it's a
not every
driveway, then-
location is gonna be touching a sidewalk, correct?
correct.
Could be bridging a sidewalk, kind of, like you just do the street and the yard.
Yeah.
If they're gonna bore it, but I don't know if they're gonna bore it, if they're gonna trench it.
Okay.
So it could be happening or could not be happening as far as
Right.
related to the complete street stuff.
Yeah, that's
No,
my concern. I don't want to miss
If they
opportunity.
take one panel of sidewalk out, we're not gonna make them do the whole sidewalk. They're gonna have to do that running panel, so.
Okay,
So maybe this isn't urgent, right?
Correct.
Like, yeah.
okay.
Well, so they did Elm last summer or the summer before or the whole time, I think. And we were hoping on South Elm that they would, when they redid the Swan and South Elm intersection, that they would restripe it and make it complete streets, pedestrian friendly, et cetera, et cetera.
We just put it back as it was.
Yes. exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we do not put the light on red flash. It happens when it fails.
Do you get so many happy emails
Yes.
about it? Uh-huh.
And I keep telling the police department, we're not doing it on purpose. That's the backup when it,
But can
when
you do
it,
it
so
on
it doesn't go dark. No, we cannot.
How much can I pay you? Just kidding, just kidding.
Not enough, because I would have to leave the country.
Okay, all right, team, I'm bringing it back. Okay,
So I think.
yeah. No, please.
I was saying, I think what we need today is just not a definitive approval that this is what this is gonna look like at the end of the day. But enough, just based on what our subcommittee meeting was, that we can sort of, it can go to the traffic advisory committee.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To then sort of give their input on it.
Right.
So do we need to take a vote on that as a commission, if you all have glanced at this? To say, yes, this looks all right, let's move forward to continue editing, and then I promise. When we get the final product, we will vote on it properly, you will have a fair human amount of
Yeah,
time to
we'll get
look
it
at
to
it.
you way in advance.
Yeah, more than 2 hours.
Yes.
To take a peek at it, are we, do we have to vote on that?
I don't think you have to vote on it.
Okay,
But just if everybody's
everyone's seen
pretty
it,
much in agreement. then I think
Yeah.
it's good.
I think.
You
it
don't have to
seems
take an
like a
actual
good
vote.
idea.
okay, okay,
For what it's worth, I mean, I think that's great. I do think there is more opportunity for sustainability sort of pieces in this.
Mhm.
But so if anyone has additional thoughts,
yeah,
because I tried to put in what, some of the things that we discussed, like Elizabeth had some very specific stuff regarding putting in trees.
Yes.
And which I thought was a good idea, but if
Mhm.
anyone has anything else like that, anyway.
yeah,
Elizabeth.
Shapley, she's a commission member.
Okay.
Well, did her suggestion incorporate native trees as opposed to trees generally?
Yeah, we definitely have something on native species.
We're working with Range Bay folks, so they are gonna be very
Okay.
specific, of the variety.
Native plant species, yeah. Yeah. That's a priority.
Yeah.
Great thinking.
Mhm. Okay, great. So if anybody has any additions or suggestions for that, once you take a peek at it with a proper amount of time, then please feel free to share it.
Do you want to give us a deadline? Will you give us a deadline?
Yes.
Yesterday.
Our meeting is the 12th, is that right?
And the
Joe?
Subcommittee.
Yeah, subcommittee, the 12th?
12th.
Okay,
So maybe if we issue it. Well, I don't know, is it realistic? If we get it out after the subcommittee meeting in time for our next sustainability commission meeting, which would be 5 days later.
yeah, so if we meet on the 12th, which is a Wednesday.
So you're talking about our feedback just right now, though, right?
Yeah, so yeah, Carla, to your point, if there's any additional things that you would like to see in this plan. If we could have it before the 12th.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm gonna write down the 8th.
yeah, sure. That's a great date, the 8th.
That's Easter.
The day before.
Yeah,
Oh, 7th.
yeah,
Or
no,
Nine-
that
nine
night
is
is
Easter.
Easter, yeah,
I'm
okay,
okay.
okay. So
It's my mother-in-law's 80th birthday.
we're gonna say,
wow.
we're gonna say okay.
I mean, other people can write down a different day. I am just writing.
I'll say the 8th. It'll help everybody who wants to turn it on the 10th of
Just to
July.
go along with that, I have just recently applied for a grant for the complete street.
What do you mean? What's that mean?
South Elm from
Yeah.
Glendale to Watson has no
Oh,
sidewalks.
you're the one to thank for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nothing's happened.
I know, but you applied for
I
it.
just put in a grant
Yeah.
for it.
I thanked Perks, Captain Perks for it, but it was you.
Yeah, Perks has, don't thank Captain.
He
Hall.
needs to name drop you.
He's got a big enough head as it is.
He needs to name drop you when he's
So did
telling us.
you say Glendale to Watson?
Glendale to Watson.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, that's, yes.
My original plan was to put in a sidewalk. A protected bike lane with a curb. But it's not, we don't have enough room.
Yeah.
So we're now going to do a 10-foot wide shared use path. On the shoulder,
That's
Wow.
That's amazing.
so you can have bicycles and pedestrians,
That's really cool.
Thank you.
On either side of the street?
just on one side.
And a regular sidewalk on the other or just on the, okay,
Just on
okay,
one
one.
And the
Wow.
The
trees,
city manager would like me to put in a sidewalk on the other side, and I'm like. You know how much that would be, because you gotta move all those utility poles, which are $25,000 a piece.
Mm,
any
It
plant
costs you $1 million
material
to
going in
move
there?
this utility pole.
Any plant material going in there? Just curious.
We are going to have in some of the parking spots where it's striped out for no
Uh-huh,
parking,
uh-huh.
we're gonna make those as like planting areas for
Nice.
Okay.
stormwater and stuff. for-
Great.
That's awesome.
And a
Yvonne,
student farm.
as a part of complete that portion, it just, are there other call outs for specific species for stormwater
Not yet,
management?
Not yet, because it's just, we're just applied for the grant, so
Okay.
we haven't started design yet.
Okay, okay,
Oh, no.
wonderful.
Great.
Okay, fabulous. Thanks, Todd. Okay, you guys, I realize it's 5. I'm sorry. We usually try to stay at an hour and we're still working through this. And you, I know, do you have to depart? A little early. I want to be respectful and
I do.
mindful.
I've got another 15 or 20
Okay,
before.
okay, all right, we're gonna
Same here.
go, okay, okay. Okay, our, Earth Month messaging, Carla and Elizabeth are gonna be working on, and Pam has, helped us kind of step through some ideas on things we can do, so look for some things in the Friday page, potentially, highlighting some, Earth businesses, or maybe even one of you. In the Friday page, hopefully a little something in the WKT community page when Webster gets that opportunity. And I know we had other ideas. I can't remember what, Carla, I'm putting you on the spot. Okay. So just stay tuned and aware of that.
Cool.
And then remember the WKT red bag effort that we have. One of the solutions that we came up with was like, oh, we'll just have some more collection spots. So we have the collection spot here. We have the collection spot at the rec center. The rec center gets full of regular
Quickly,
plastic
yes.
all the time. So I picked it up a few times and I take it to the Kirkwood facility, the collection spot for all the recycling. I am gonna ask that we all rotate a month of the year, or 2 months of the year, just so that we can share that responsibility. Because poor Scott is like, Jamie, it's full again. So I've had my kids doing it, and
How often does?
I would say we need to check at like once every other week minimum.
Oh, okay, that's.
So if do you have a better suggestion, Todd? Or do you
No,
think
I
that's
think it's
fair?
about right.
Okay, and then I don't know who the maintenance worker helped me like put a new liner in, and just had a giant black bag that I took over to Kirkwood. And
Where's the one here?
The what?
Is
Just
there a
by the front
collection here?
door.
It's on the front door when you walk
Oh,
to
yeah.
the right.
Mhm, yeah.
Have they ever thought about putting in Schnucks or anything?
So the
Schnucks has
Schnucks,
their-
you
They
can
have their
put those
own
free
there.
bag.
thing like Target.
You can put it in there.
Once
Yeah.
I brought the entire bag and
Yeah.
Schnucks was like, yeah, we'll take it, but it's kind of a pain.
Yeah, it's another thing.
So,
in there.
yeah, so you just pull up to the Kirkwood. pocket.
Perfect.
So I will also circulate notes about that and probably even a sign.
Okay.
Okay, new business. I spoke with a high school student from Webster. And she would like to be like a Webster rep for on the sustainability
Wow, that's cool.
commission. So
Great.
I think that's got some interesting potential, again, trying to build that stronger bridge with the school district, and get more, students involved. I have all sorts of just ideas to throw at her about ways to get kids to cycle or walk more and other things that they can do. So that will be upcoming. Her name is Carson Coonsey. She just got back from spring break. She's like, I haven't talked to my principal yet. I'm like, fine. Our next meeting is in April. We're all good. So, yeah, so that is, on the horizon. Okay, our solar update, which is an important one. I'm gonna do some reading here because it's best for me not to summarize some of these things, okay? Okay. So we have been saying as a commission, it's super important for us to identify and remove barriers where City Hall could get in the way of residents accessing renewable energy. And that was a part of our discussion in developing the sustainability plan. And luckily, Mayor Arnold has been also very interested in this. And so with Pam and Mayor Arnold and Dr. Peoples and Mara Perry, our director of planning, we sat down together a few months back and started this discussion on what can be done. And Mara went through a comprehensive search of our codes and ordinances and was able to really clean things up so that folks can access solar more easily and things don't get snagged up here at City Hall. So the Planning and Development Department have worked with city attorney and city manager to develop language that would allow for front-facing solar elevation. Mara presented the upcoming proposed change to the council during the work session on 3/21. The Planning and Development Department is sending notices of the upcoming amendment changes to over 600 addresses. It's close to 700. And the public hearing regarding the amendment will be on April 18th. I am requesting as many of us from the commission to attend that meeting. Wait, is it that one that's,
It's the day after your next meeting too.
oh, great.
So you can remind everybody.
Yes, that's right. I can gently remind everyone. They are worried that there's going to be, well, we are worried that there is going to be a little bit of consternation about the historic districts and whatnot. And so we just have to, gently remind our friends and neighbors that this is, how we have to move forward and,
Can you summarize the consternation? I guess I'm not.
I think that people are gonna be worried because they're gonna be in historic districts that right now in some of our neighborhoods and our historic districts, you can't put solar on front elevations facing the street.
All right,
So
we're talking about changing that.
yes,
Okay.
we are changing that.
Okay.
Yes. Hopefully. I have the. Yeah. So like Mara found she just did a really thorough, fantastic job of finding language that just needed to be adjusted so that solar panels can go on with more ease, especially with IRA, tax incentives that are about to roll out or have already rolled out. Let me just double check this note from Mara. The changes are not a part of the zoning code, so therefore nothing had to go before the plan commission. Letters will be going out, I think, this week. And okay. Yeah, the public hearing is 4/18 and they will vote on it on 5/2. So again, these are dates I will share with everyone so that you have them all in one spot.
And it will be an administrative approval. It does not have to go to the ARB.
Yes, thank you for helping me clarify that as well. So this is a big win and super exciting. If council approves this, this is really fantastic. And what we all set out to work on with Forever Webster Grows is to help our friends and neighbors access renewables with more ease. So with that, let's make the assumption that council will approve this. I'm optimistic, but if it gets approved, I would like to see our commission have a really robust kind of support on helping folks understand what this could mean for them. So we are going to be a part of Grow Solar, that program. And I'm some speaker that could come and talk about it. We was talking about your idea of a solar panel. That would be super fun, and I like little witticism. But also like a solar home tour, where folks who have solar on their houses are really excited
Elizabeth
about it.
does.
Yes, she does.
So
And so either maybe an afternoon where for 2 hours if people want to pop around to different, or self-guided, and there's just a little bit of information at each, on
that'd be cool.
on the site, on a landing page that we can help folks understand, like, this is how this person did this, and a little quote from that
And
person.
incorporating business districts.
Yes,
as well.
business
Yeah.
districts as well. And so we, like, Llewellyn's has panels, I believe Elton Oak has panels. In 2013, the city did a big rollout with Ameren. And I can't remember the name of that program at that time. But I feel like this should be a splashy kind of fun thing, community event. And like Rolling Ridge had a thing the other day, and they had a company out there called Solar Smoothies.
Cute.
I was like, oh, it's gonna be
That's cool.
all things solar. So I started to geek out and email people. So that is really, really awesome.
Yeah.
So all like my hat tips to our folks here who work very hard at City Hall, and definitely to you. Thank you very much for your help in seeing this through, shepherding this through. Yes. Big victory. Okay, and then our EV solar ready residential. I know I really want to go on this, but maybe should we tap the brakes a smidge until we get solar?
I don't understand the question.
So our EV Ready Ordinance, we've been teasing and talking about for quite some time. It's Brentwood, right? Or
Yeah.
Richmond Heights who had it? Maybe both, yeah, now. Language that has been shared with us, an ordinance that with new builds and renovations, that folks have the ready capabilities to have an EV charger. And then somebody recently said to me, and solar, I was like, what's our thought on bandwidth, and can we be asking Mara to go through this process again? And Pam, do you have any concerns on capacity here before we go, saying to the folks here, hey, can you look at this ordinance language?
I think we should go through the priorities and try to organize them a little bit more before starting another new, stronger initiative.
Okay.
Because there's so many irons in the fire. We've got stormwater, we've got bike walk, and just to organize and sift through and figure out what's the next best thing.
Okay.
Because a lot of it is going to be budget based. And I think we should note the wins that are low hanging fruit and how they didn't really cost anything, such as this change in the ordinance and stuff. So I think we could just take a step to look at a big picture over the next 3 years and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I think MIA, Midwest Energy Efficiency Alliance, has gotten text for a solar ready appendix and an EV ready appendix for the building code. And it might need to be slightly tweaked to put into Websterese, but the text is already created.
You can Websterize it.
And it's, I think Pam is exactly right in terms of prioritizing. I think this one might ought to be at the top because you got IRA money coming in.
Yes.
And if you're building a new house and you do it solar ready or not, like that's a 40-year or 50-year deal. So it seems to me it's kind of there's a lot of arguments for it, and I don't. Well, here's a question: Todd, average new build in Webster by your 10-year rolling average, what would that be?
I don't have that answer. That's a different department.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But I would say it's like,
Right.
20 to 25 a year, maybe they get.
That.
Homes, yeah.
Yeah, new homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that adds up over 10 years.
Yeah, it does.
So I think, but again, like I say, the text, Mia's got the text.
Okay.
These other munis, they just ripped it from Mia. They didn't.
I'm sure they did, yeah.
start it from scratch.
Why reinvent the wheel?
I think when we talked about this, when we presented to council the Forever Webster Groves and we talked about prioritizing which things we want to do first, second, third, this was one of the low hanging fruit, just because
Okay,
it was, I don't think there's money involved. It's just.
so I think we need to
codes.
chart it out
Yeah.
and figure out how to communicate that a little more simply, right? I think it would go a long way because I think you have this money allocated, but it's not been kind of like organized or categorized or anything really based on the dollars available or what a project costs.
Yeah.
So
So,
we need to make it look like we know what we're doing.
yes.
Yes.
I understand that, but I just feel like these things, like, it's not like we've not worked toward that. I feel.
Oh,
like
I don't
those are
think
all
it's, I
things
don't
we
think
want
it's
to
that, but
I think it's communicating.
it's communicating it because essentially you gotta, there's other people, 6 other people that aren't in the room with you. And you
Yeah.
have to be able to make sure that they understand the importance and the clarity of it.
Yeah,
Because you're gonna be asked questions otherwise, and you have to be able to answer them. So,
yeah. On that prioritization, we've started this little chart to help get things a little more clearly communicated and organized, and started to add some costs associated with each of the priorities. We had established priorities for this year, and I am in the process of revisiting them right now, because some things have presented themselves differently than others, so I'm taking what
And then new things pop.
new things
Yeah,
have
yeah.
occurred, so.
it's like you have to have can't have ADD right now.
Would it be helpful if somebody from Mia flew in and talked to the council? Wrap down like what these appendices to the.
I think it's more of a sustainability
yeah,
level
probably
and
not.
department level, and then you guys just have to present
Okay,
the high level thing, but you have to be specific
okay,
in what your wants.
yeah, okay. So that is not on the work session for the 4th, though.
No.
So.
But we need to have that.
But it's gotta be, I
together
understand
ASAP.
it is a priority.
Like-
Okay.
And on this,
Before the 4th,
People are knocking on the door here.
okay.
on this one, I think it came,
Literally?
No.
on this issue, though, I think it came back to staff time, to Mara's time, specifically looking at what needs to be done in terms of language.
Right, but I think, yeah, we just need to communicate it
Yeah,
in a different way,
Right.
communicate it in a new way.
fair. Okay. All right, that's all I have. Whew, finally. Pam. Oh, yeah, sure.
Does this exist electronically, this list of everybody's information?
Yes.
Would you mind sending that? Because I can't not lose paper. So
It's your special skill.
it's my specialty. That's my favorite power.
Councilwoman Bliss, do you have anything to share with us today?
I know I've been thinking, well, we did approach. Jamie attended the Business Development Commission meeting last week and kind of started talking to them about how to partner on the Green Dining Alliance, and so they were receptive to it. And I think there's next steps coming along
Yes.
for that. we are, like I said, we are in budget season and each work session, there's a presentation. Last week's was revenue streams and going through what's ongoing and recurring revenue streams versus one-time funding. As you know, or you may have heard that revenues are below expenditures. And so we are working to find ways to balance that out, bring down expenditures and increase revenues. They're talking about council's kind of identifying what they would like to see. And they will be coming back to us with ideas on that. And then the only other thing is, just wanted to let you know that I am available. If you have questions, if you hear things in the news or anything you have questions about, feel free to ask, because that's the best way to get the information.
Thank you for
So,
your
and
service to the city.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, it's not a good
Or
idea
any
to just
council
read a bunch of Facebook posts. Assume that that's true.
But yeah, that's why council is here. We are available. And as you know, we're available as well.
Yes.
There are other. Appreciate that. Anybody.
Transparent.
And if anybody wants to have a conversation, neighbors or whatever, I'm available for that.
Okay, oh, that's good. Thank you. Now, do you want to add anything for GDA? I totally forgot about it. Are we good?
I was just going to say that you met with the BDC and that they were interested in supporting, and that it seems that they have funds that they need to put to good use,
Yes.
which is nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's really
That could be
fantastic.
used for like micro grants or, how to use those funds
Yeah.
in getting this program started.
So I'm gonna pull together a really great kind of pilot on how to work with our various Webster restaurants and the GDA, the Green Dining Alliance. And with Business Development Commission.
Yes,
BDC,
Mhm.
that we are going to be pulling together some micro grant opportunities for restaurants and trying to onboard our restaurants in the community to become a part of the GDA so we can be a green dining district. So that is a work in progress as well. And thank you, Amna, for your work on that. Okay, sorry, Todd.
So I mentioned the grant, the SSR 4A, which is Safe Streets and Roads for All. So the grant opportunity for Complete Streets, we first have to come up with our action plan. And we can get a grant to help set up that action plan. I'm going through all these boot camp Zoom meetings to try and figure out how we're gonna put together our application. And then the other thing I have is the sustainability coordinator. Finally got the paperwork from the district. And I signed it and sent it back to them. They're gonna sign it and they're waiting to get the money. Once they get the money, then I'll have my meeting with them and then they'll give us the green light to go ahead and advertise and get us a sustainability coordinator.
Awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. That's great. Do we know how many hours or?
I'm figuring 20 hours a week
Cool.
because we only got a partial grant.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic, Todd. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that's it.
Next
Our
meeting.
next meeting is Monday, April 17th. Hopefully everyone can make it. I will get those important dates out to you all and let's, I think we've got a solid start on our speakers and I will continue to email you with more letters. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Carla. Second, John. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. That was a marathon.
Bye.